in Manchester United's Premier League history. Under Ferguson, with the 810 matches played, they lost 114. But since him, with the 448 matches played, they've lost the same number of games. That sort of sums it all up, doesn't it, Wrighty?
Yeah, but you are comparing a lot of people to Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, I think he's a one in a million. You do feel for Ruben Amorim because I don't know how many games he's been there now, but we're seeing maybe little bits of improvement. Like he mentioned, there's little bits of improvement. I can't see it personally properly because when they're in a game and you're trying to see something different, especially when they go behind, you know, it's when they come alive. And I don't know, maybe once the summer comes, maybe get some players in, we might see more progress with them. But at the moment, I think they just want this season to end.
I think the fans, I sense that they were happy with some of the performances before we went on the break. They felt like maybe his ideas were being implemented and the players were starting to show some progress, as you just said. But tonight, it just didn't feel like that.
No, I mean, I think the last Europa League game I was there at Old Trafford, it did feel very different, scoring, the energy in the crowd. I felt like there was maybe a point to prove in some interviews that had been previously said about the team, about the squad. But look, tonight it's difficult because we're beaten by a better team and you don't have to have the ball for large parts of the game, but you have to be clinical. And what Man United have, they have a -4 goal difference. So as the manager alluded to there, we have to be better in the final third. We're having a -4 goal difference isn't good enough. And where I think in terms of the focus is on the Europa League, Europa in terms of trying to get into that Champions League spot, you have to look at their table there. When you're making cost cuts for your fans, every position in the Premier League, 12th, 11th, is worth millions of pounds. So it's actually massive to try and move up the table in the Premier League as well when you're trying to get money when everything is being stripped back of the club. So it's a massive few weeks. They've got Lyon in between that. They've got Newcastle. They've got the Derby, coming up as well. It's a busy 4 or 5 games for United, and it wasn't ideal for them tonight. And
if it wasn't for Murillo's amazing clearance, we could have been looking at a different scoreline. You kind of felt that it might happen for them, but it didn't in the end.
No, there is always something about United where I genuinely thought they would get something. I was saying it towards the end there. No one believed me, and there it was, Murillo. Murillo came and like he saved them. His great movement from him, his awareness to, in that moment, to sense the danger. Look at him, he's already seen it. You know, he's obviously got a block there, but then that there from Harry Maguire was really good reaction from him. But it's great defending. It's great defending, and they know what to do. They know to defend very well because they've got players that can break and do what we saw Anthony Elanga do.
I said he was 5 million, he was 15, but he was worth the 10 million for that. Of course he was, exactly. The goal line. But the awareness, as Wright said, there was spot
on. Overall, Manchester United, 13th in the table. The focus, although he's saying the focus is on the next game, it's got to be on the Europa League, surely, now for them.
Yeah, but I still feel it will be the next game, but, you know, the main focus will be the Europa League because they know what can come from getting to the latter stages of that, winning that. So, of course, that will be Man United's, like, saving grace this season. But again, you know, they're safe in the Premier League. It's not like they've got a problem with the Premier League. So I think all the energy will probably go on the Europa League.
And if they were to win that and get into the Champions League, then it's a big task.
It'd be just like Man United to do it that way as well.
It would, wouldn't it? You know? But then the task ahead is huge to try and get them ready for the Champions League.
Well, they're not a Champions League team, as what we're watching, because they're nowhere near it in terms of the Premier League table. But as Wrighty said, if there's anyone that could do it, it probably would be them to go and lift the trophy. And they have performed quite well in it, so you won't back against them. But it is their focus, sole focus, I believe. But like I said, when the owner's making cost cuts, every position in the Premier League is worth millions of pounds to try and climb that table. That's also vital for them as well. And you don't want to have where you finish, whether it be 13th, 14th, come the end of the season and have that for Man United, because it's not good enough for them.
Well, a club that look like they are going to be playing Champions League football next season are Nottingham Forest. Yes. And again, they've impressed. The fans have so much to be pleased about. But they will also have to have an interesting summer to try and get some more depth in the squad to cope with Champions League football, surely, as well.
Yeah, because obviously the levels and the standards are much higher. You're probably going to... They've got players that you can see that will probably do okay in the Champions League, but then when you're going into Champions League, there is another level that you have to go to, especially if you're going in You know what I mean? To try to see what it's about. You want to get the kind of players to see if they can acclimatise to the level of what you're doing, and then you start seeing how far you can go in that. But then the tests will come, because now they look like they're finishing in the top 4. The next season, people are going to be looking at Forest. They're going to have a target on their back because they're a team to beat now, because they're a Champions League team, and so they're going to have to deal with the pressures that come with that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. But I'm sure it's a problem that they're going to be happy to have to deal with.